Welcome back, all 761 of you fellow poker junkies, to another episode. We don't have any time to waste. There's tons of good hands. Let's get right into it. We're sitting down with a $600 stack and 3-5 and see our first playable hand. Ace of diamonds, jack of clubs, and the hijack, and open to $20. The button comes along for a flop of ace, queen, 4, all clubs. I bet $15 with top pair and the second nut flush draw. The button calls. The turn is the 6 of spades. Since I'm holding a club, and 3 of the 5 Broadway clubs are accounted for, it is really unlikely that our opponent has clubs. For that reason, I'm expecting to face an ace most of the time, and we'll try to get some value from those holdings. I bet $45, but the button lets it go this time. Our next playable hand is a pair of 7s. We're under the gun for this one, and we have the bottom of our opening range for this position. I raise to $20, and the button calls. The flop is 5, 6, 7 rainbow, and I bet $30. The button makes the call. The turn is a 9 and adds a spade draw. I bet $55 because holding a 7 reduces the combos, which include an 8 for the straight, and I can get called by a lot worse. The button now raises to $155. That's not a good sign, and we now have to assume that it's very likely that we are facing a straight. We are fairly deep here, and I think we have excellent implied odds if we improve on the 10 outs to pair the board. Because of that, I'm going to make the call here. The river 4 does not pair the board. I check, planning to fold, and then the button bets $150. This is such a small bet relative to the pot.
I'm trying to figure out if you go 150 with the straight or why would you not jam? All right, dumb call. 8. Yeah.
You can hear my thought process. I ultimately decided that the bet is small enough to be a thin value bet from a 2-pair or worse set, guessing that he would have gone for a larger size with the straight. Nice bet here by my opponent. The sizing made me curious, and I couldn't get away even though I felt like I knew I was calling a straight. Shortly afterwards, we pick up pocket 10s in the big blind. The button opens to $30 and has about $300 behind. I re-raise to $100, guessing that I will be able to take this pot down here fairly often with the raise. The button does not let the pot end that easily. Instead, he jams all in. I have very little experience with him, but in this spot, for that large of a raise, I'm likely to be crushed here if I call. I think about it for a minute, but ultimately decide that I need to let it go. 10s are tough because they're one of those middling pairs. But you know what's not a middling pair? Kings! Early position opens to $15, and 3 people call behind. We're in the big blind again, and this time we make it $90. The button covers and makes the call. We get a nice flop of jack of hearts, 8 of clubs, 3 of clubs. I bet $75 and the button calls. The turn is the 7 of diamonds. I bet $200 and the button jams for the rest of my stack. I'm not getting away for that extra $150, so I throw in the call with the overpair. The button has 9-10 for the straight, and we're crushed. We rebuy up to 1K and get dealt another solid pair, pocket queens. I raise to $20 in middle position and the small blind calls. The small blind has had a big night so far and easily covers us. The flop is king, king, 7, and the small blind checks. I bet $20 hoping to get a call from a 7 or a pocket pair. The small blind quickly folds. It could take us a while to rebuild at this rate, but at least we're rebuilding. Let's try to keep that momentum going. We get ace of diamonds, jack of clubs, and the hijack. Middle position limps, and then calls $20 when we raise. We both check on a flop of 10-10 deuce. The turn adds a queen, and he bets $25. I call with some showdown value, an overcard, and a gutter ball, since he will have plenty of bluffs here. The river's a 3, and it checks through. I'm reluctant to show my ace high, but it turns out to be good. Okay, we're building momentum, and we're dealt another beauty. Ace-queen offsuit. This time middle position opens to $20. I'm the hijack and raise to $60. He has a stack of 1.2k and makes the call. The flop is ace, queen, jack, rainbow. Even better than that, he chooses to bet $25, and we're definitely raising. I make it $75, hoping that he has an ace, or something like queen, jack. He makes the call. The turn is a 9. Now he slows down and checks, and I bet $125, trying to get some more value from a weaker ace. He decides to fold. Says that he had pocket 10s. In this hand, there are 4 limpers in front of me, and we're going to use a principle that Dan Harrington talks about in his book on cash games, which is when you've got a bunch of people who are trying to get to a flop cheaply, make it expensive for them so they can't see it so easily. I'm on the button with queen jack of spades, and I'm going to pick up this dead money. I make it $40. It folds around to middle position. He now jams a small stack of $125. He will never have a monster here. Nobody's going to slow play a big hand in this spot with multiple players already limping in front of him. I think if anything you might limp under the gun, but otherwise you're going to limp trying to get to a flop with hopes of hitting something like a set or a straight with some kind of small pocket pair or suited connector. For that reason, I think we can safely assume that we are basically flipping against a pocket pair or a weak ace when they have one over and one under card. I'll let you listen in as it unfolded.
I mean, your hand can't be that good, you limped.
Would you buy in for 200?
All right, we'll go. We'll go.
No, I got lucky. I only bought for 50.
I have overs, so yeah. All right, let's do it. I missed. Still missed. Hit one.
No diamonds?
And yes, I did mean to film the run out, but I ended up watching the board instead of my camera, and my shot drifted so that you get to see just the table. Sometimes your filming skills just aren't as on point as you want them to be. Alright, we hung an ace in the corner of this goalpost. Seth is going to make a 100-yard throw from the other side of the field.
Let's do it.
All right, attempt number 426. We've been out here all day. We're gonna make this thing happen. Oh! Oh! Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Woo! Man.
Look at that. 8 hours well spent.
Yeah, baby! We're gonna be YouTube famous! This next hand occurs several orbits later, but I haven't played many hands since then. I raised to $25 instead of $20 under the gun because the table has been calling fairly often. It folds around to the hijack, who is the same opponent from the previous hand who moves seats. He is short stacked again, and once again jams. This spot isn't as easy as the previous one, because he is raising the under the gun raiser with his first opportunity to act, instead of limp raising. I debate folding, but my hand is decent. The all-in is rather small for around $150, and things have not been going his way, so I think there's a decent chance that this shove is out of frustration. I'll let you listen in again.
Alright.
Nice
Go
call.
again.
Have an ace.
Alright, this time you have the overcards.
Nope. 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 Oh. Nice hand.
After this hand, we now have about 2K in front of us, and that's what we're into the game for, so we've made our way back to even. We're doing $20 bomb pots every dealer change. For this one, we have Queen 9 offsuit. The flop is Queen of Hearts, 9 of Hearts, 5 of Spades, and it checks to me. I bet $100 and there are 3 callers. The turn is the 3 of Diamonds. It checks to me again, and this time I'm making it the state single bet maximum of $300 for non-tribal casinos. Again, I get 3 callers. This pot is juicy, and players could have anything. Please no heart. Please no heart. The river is the 3 of Spades. Not great, but not horrible. I'm going to check since we could now be losing to a heart draw that includes a 3, or something like pocket kings or aces that just made 2 pair. The button decides to bet $300. I make the call, and he shows us Ace Queen. I turn my hand up, and nobody else does. That means we're scooping this thing. Wah, I stick around to play a couple more orbits, but ultimately I know that I need to book this win, get out of here, and lock it up for you guys, so I do. I make my way for the door shortly after this without any more exciting hands, and we book a nice win of $1,255. A very good session. That means that a Patreon supporter is getting a $125 gift card as 10% of whatever I win. Let's draw the name right now. The lucky Seahawks hat of destiny. The winner is J9. J9, congrats on your win. $125 coming your way. Thanks for watching. Have a great week and go crush a table.
Thanks again for doing this for me, man. I appreciate it. You never think that you'd have to leave a final message for your family.
Yeah. I know it's going to be really tough, but let's get it done right. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that it came out really good, man.
Thank you.